Ladies and gentlemen, don't start a riot. The 5 Tech Things are back again, episode number 72. But we got one question. What the heck is Bill Gates doing with his money? Hey everybody, welcome to the 5 Tech Things that you should know about for all you weekend warriors in tech that don't want too much information overload. Let's get into your 5 Tech Things you should know about this week. First thing, I want to welcome you all back. Thank you very much for letting me take my small little vacation, I guess you could call it. We pushed out 250 CES videos. Now that's all done, it's time to focus on the regular stuff, including the 5 Tech Things. We're going to be doing some changes with the 5 Tech Things, adding some new stuff to the whole show. So let your friends know and get up on those feeds and get that up on your Boxy and your Roku and, of course, iTunes as well. The big news of the month, of course, is the Verizon iPhone 4 for Verizon. You can now get it, but there's some small problems. It's not the squeeze of death, it's the hug of death. It's like the, you gotta put it underneath the arm oh, wait, no, there, absolutely no signal. Absolutely no signal, can't do it. Well, for all you Verizon people, you might be really happy, but I don't know why. You're getting yourself a slightly used iPhone that's just basically got a crossover chip and a little bit of extra programming, what I call a Band-Aid fix, to get your iPhone 4 working on Verizon. Why not wait for iPhone 5, which is only going to be out in, 4 or 5 months? Come on, folks. Why purchase something now when in 5 months you can actually have a fully functional? All the applications will have tested their applications with the Verizon iPhone. That's one of the big problems that's going on right now, is a lot of the applications don't work with the Verizon iPhone. So the software software makers have to make the upgrades so they can work it on the Verizon iPhone. Things like that. Just a whole bunch of little messes here and there that they have to clean up, little fires here and there that they have to clean up. So, really, do you really want a Verizon iPhone 4 now? Or would you wait 3 to 4 months for that iPhone 5? And then you have the full functionality. If you buy your iPhone now, in 4 or 5 months, that iPhone's going to cost you $700. I'm just saying. Don't start a riot. But Activision has decided to discontinue Guitar Hero. Yeah, they made the announcement a couple days ago. They said, hey, sales aren't doing too well from our September version of Heroes of Rock or Super Rock or whatever it was. It's just another version of Guitar Hero that really didn't update anything. It just added a specific genre. No wonder the sales went down. Because nobody knew which Guitar Hero to get. Is this one going to have drums? Is this one going to have a harmonica? Is this one going to be here? Now there's a DJ Hero. I don't get it. They convoluted. They muddied the water way too much, and they didn't stick to their ideas of the game itself. No wonder that it failed. It just didn't make sense. Well, Activision, of course, they've got their big thing. It's Call of Duty. That's the big game. So they're going to be focusing around that. But there's going to be some other games that are going to go.
Activision is number one.
Sorry, Tony Hawk, but you're one of them. Yes, they did announce that Tony Hawk games are also going to become discontinued. They're also going to discontinue some games that they're building, including what's called True Crime Hong Kong, which I believe it's on the same line as Grand Theft Auto. But it's not even going to come out, so it really doesn't matter. So vaporware there. And of course, let's say goodbye to Guitar Hero. Now the real question is, what is Rock Band gonna do? They've kept on their path, and they have about 20,000 songs that you can download. I have a feeling that their longevity is gonna be a little bit more than Activision's Guitar Hero. Alright, Windows 7 owners, be aware, Service Pack 1 is finally gonna be coming out. February 22nd is the projected date for Windows 7. Of course, if you have a server 2008, they're also going to come out with a Service Pack 1 there. So you might want to watch and make sure all your updates are there and you're ready to go. Service Pack 1, of course, is going to be a culmination of all those little fixes that you've been getting in the last couple months. Except what they'll do is they'll clean up all those little fixes, they'll put Service Pack 1 in one nice little package and go from there. Now, I always tell people, Service Pack 1, whenever somebody comes out with a Service Pack or something like that, wait, if you're not a full techie, wait a couple days, wait till everybody else has really downloaded the Service Pack got the idea and got the feeling, and make sure that there's no extra bugs that could really affect you. That's why I always not turn on my download updates option, because I want to be able to control what updates I do download and what I don't. A lot of them are security fixes, and they're very much needed, but then there's a lot of stuff that's, I call fodder, and could slow down my computer and make it act really different. And I don't want that. There was an update, for example, that all of a sudden changed my wireless settings. So now when I go from one wireless area to another wireless area, I have to choose that wireless area. It doesn't automatically connect again for me. And that's kind of sad. I really wanted that back and forth. But it's actually a good security step, so I don't connect up to a wireless that I really don't want to be on, especially when there's a lot of nixes out there. Now, if you're still running Windows XP, maybe now's the time to start thinking about getting to the next version of the operating system. They have discontinued what they called the auto run feature, which basically meant if you put a DVD in the drive, if you plugged in a USB drive, it will not ask you, it will not automatically do open up a video, open up anything. It'll actually ask you what to do before you do it, so you can run a little bit safer. But XP is going to start to crumble big time. Windows 7, is that the answer for you, or should you go to another operating system? That's a completely different discussion. But I think it's time to start looking at your XP boxes, especially if you're in business, and get it upgraded to something a little bit newer. Well, Apple's on the rumor mill. Of course, Apple iPad 2 is probably going to come out in June, but all of a sudden there's an event that's talked about in August for iPad 3. And they're going, well, what's iPad 3? Basically, it might be a mini version of the iPad, a 7-inch version. Now, if you remember correctly, about a year ago, Steve Jobs said, nobody wants a 7-inch tablet. Just not going to happen. But I've played with 7-inch tablets, and I like the functionality that I can just slide it right into a shirt pocket and not have to have it in my hands all the time. That 10-inch tablet is nice, but a little bit bulky. A lot of people are really latching on to 7-inch tablets, and maybe Apple's realizing that and said, well, maybe we should start thinking about putting out a 7-inch iPad tablet and see what happens. If anything, we just discontinue it a year later if nobody gets it. But if it becomes a big seller, we might just have both, or maybe even ditch the 10-inch iPad. We'll see what happens, but really cool stuff. The iPad 2 is expected to have a front and back-facing camera. I really hope that they've worked on that A4 processor to make it into a dual-core A4 processor. That would really change the game when it comes to tablets. We're seeing dual-core processors coming into your smartphones, and tablets are not far behind. And if iPad 2 does not have a dual-core processor, I have a feeling I'm going to look for an Android equivalent. Samsung Galaxy Tab is really winning my vote right now, but there's a lot of great tablets coming out on the horizon. If they come true, you are going to be amazed as to what a tablet can do. That could actually even replace this or the desktop. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is your data. Back it up now, back it up often, back it up off the site. Use that code GEEK. That's going to get you 10% off. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. They changed their price plans a little bit over at Mozy.com. $5.99 for 50 gigabytes or $9.99 for 125 gigabytes of backup data. That's basically your My Documents, which is what you really need to back up instead of your Windows folders and stuff like that. So you get to be a little bit more selective, but you get to understand what you have to back up and how much you have to back it up. Back up now, back up often, back up offsite. Mozy also offers an option where you can back up on-site. So you can back up your Windows folder to that on-site location and then back everything up off of Mozy. Now, if you have the unlimited plan and you have the 1-year unlimited plan, you will still have that plan until your plan runs up, and then you will have to choose one of the other plans. But $5.99, use that code GEEK. That gets you 10% off. That's going to be $5.50 a month for a great program. So back up now, back up often, and back up offsite with Mozy.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Gates has decided to pull out of Microsoft. Wait, what? Huh? What? Huh? Actually, what he's doing is he's selling off about 5 million shares of his stock. He's got 591 million shares, so getting rid of 5 million shares is kind of like throwing a couple dollars into the change jar at the local coffee shop, for Bill Gates at least. But he's getting rid of 5 million shares. Why? Because he wants to do some diversification. He wants to invest in some other companies and get some product, some buildup in his portfolio, because Bill Gates really, really needs that. Now, of course, Bill Gates has technically left Microsoft. He stepped down as CEO. That's when Steve Ballmer stepped in and took over a couple years ago. Bill Gates still has a hand in operations over at Microsoft, still on the board of directors. He's not leaving. He's not getting fired. He's not quitting or anything like that. He's just getting rid of some of his stocks. So we might see a little low stock time for Microsoft, so it might be a good time to buy some Microsoft stock if you're into Microsoft now. But the real question is this a good trend? Is this a bad trend? I'll tell you, if this was a bad trend, Bill Gates would not be selling 5 million shares of Microsoft stock. Bill Gates would sell 591 million shares of his stock. He's still got 7% of the company. That's all he needs. And maybe some of the investments that he's going to do will actually help with Microsoft to drive their stock up. He just needs it to drive up. That's going to help him more in the end. And that's it. That's your 5 tech things you should know about for the week. I hope you liked the little additions that we did. We're going to do a lot more. If you have any suggestions, have any comments, feel free to call me at 608-205-4378 or geekazine@gmail.com. We will be here back next week for episode number 43, the 5 tech things you should know about. And until then, you guys have a safe week, and we will see you next time. Take care.
That was exhausting, even for me.